Hey guys, Mr. Riss here to help you out on the next part. So what we're going to be doing is solving exponential equations. So when it comes to solving exponential equations, first thing we want to do is to use the properties of exponents to simplify each side of the equations. That way we have one base is equal to another base. All right, then we want to rewrite the equations so they have both bases. So we want to make sure that bases are the same. We might have to then clean it up after we convert the bases, but we'll do what we need to do. And then once we have both bases, a single base on both sides, and they are the same, we're going to drop the bases. They basically cancel each other out, and we just solve for the exponents here. So in this first problem here, the first two steps are already done for us, okay? There's nothing to distribute here. There's nothing to cancel out, and we look, both of these are fives. So the bases are going to cancel out, and we're just going to figure out what 2x plus 1 equals 4. Subtract 1 from both sides, we get 2x is equal to 3. And we divide by 2, and x would equal 3 over 2, or if you want to use the decimal, 1.5. All right, so if you want to try to pause this, do this next one on your own. Let's check this out. All right, same bases on both sides, they cancel each other out. 2n would equal 4. So when we divide by 2, n would have to equal 2. All right, starting off pretty easy. We'll slowly bump this up in difficulty here. All right, same thing with the next one. We just have equations on both sides. All right, so if bases are the same, only a single base on both sides, they cancel each other out. So we got to figure out what 4n plus 5, set that equal to n minus 7. All right, we're going to subtract the smaller n away. So we get 3n plus 5 is equal to negative 7. We subtract 5 from negative 7, we get 3n is equal to, that should say minus 5. That'd be negative 12. And when we divide by 3, we get n is equal to negative 4. Want to pause the video, try the next one on and on? Recommend that. All right, let's see. Bases cancel each other out. They're both 6s. So we get negative 3n minus 3 is equal to 2. Technically, negative 3 is smaller than 2, so we're going to add 3 over to the other side to get rid of it. So we get negative 3 is equal to 5n. And when we divide by 5, the number by the variable, we get n equals negative 3/5. You like decimals, that'd be negative 0.6. Okay, now we're going to crank up the difficulty a little more. Okay, what if we have multiple bases? Okay, so whenever we have multiple bases, we got to simplify this here. So we know a power times a power, we add the exponents. So first thing we will want to do is to add these together. What's 2n minus 2 plus negative 3n? We're going to add these two together, and that would give us a negative 1n minus 2 equals to a 2 to the 2n power. All right, now that we got this down to a single base, we can cancel these out, and we'd get a negative 1n minus 2 is equal to 2n. We're going to solve for this by adding the 1n over to the other side. We get negative 2 is equal to 3n, and then we're going to divide by 3. We get we get n equals negative 2/3, or negative 0.6 repeating. All right, if you want to try to pause this video here, try it on your own, let me know. Okay, so when we divide, we subtract the exponents. We're going to do a negative n minus, and write that up, minus a negative 3n. Dividing, you subtract. All right, so that'd be negative 3, or negative 1n plus 3, so that's going to give us a 2n is equal to 2 to the 4th power. Hey, this seems familiar. We get 2n is equal to 4. When we divide by 2, we get n equals 2. Ooh, looks like a couple of my problems didn't show up here on the next part. Let me pause the video here and help you out. I'm going to grab the worksheet to match up with your guys'. Okay, now we got this all set up. Let's go through. Okay, what happens? Okay, we got bases on both sides, but they do not match. Well, what we can do is always convert them. So this first one here is, okay, how could we change these to make common bases? Well, one thing I know here is I don't have to change this one, but I can change the 1 because 1 is really 6 to the 0 power. So we can always change and rewrite equations to make them match. All right, so now that they match, we can cancel them out and we get a negative b is equal to 0. And when we divide by -1, it still means b would equal 0. Okay, so if you want to try to pause the video, try to do the next one or the next two on your own, you can, but let's see how well you do. All right, so to get bases the same, all right, this is a 5 to the x minus 6 power, 125. It's actually 5 to the 3rd power. So we might have to rewrite the equation to make them match. Bases then cancel each other out. So we got to just solve x minus 6 is equal to 3. We just add the 6 on over. All right, and we get x is equal to 9. All right, the last one here. Okay, we got 8 to the 4x plus 2 equals 64. All right, so 8 we'll leave alone. Now, sometimes you have to change both, but this time we can just say 64 is really 8 squared. All right, and then now we have same bases. They cancel each other out. We get 4x plus 2 would be equal to 2. We minus the 2 away. We get 4x is equal to 0. And then when we divide by 4, x would still equal 0. Okay, so sometimes we do have to convert to get similar bases. All right, so you guys have an IXL to do. We'll spend some time on this, seeing if you guys have any issues or any difficulties, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys do well on this. Have a good one.